Welcome to the ADHD Mind, a space for ADHD, creativity, and personal development. How boredom can be a good thing. As someone with ADHD, I feel boredom all the time, almost all day, every day. Nothing can hold my interest for too long. I have to constantly bounce from one thing to another to keep myself entertained. As much as I don't like this ADHD trait, it is something I have to accept and deal with on a daily basis. That has prompted me to do some research on boredom itself to see if there is any benefit to that, and I was amazed at the findings. By the way, I was writing this video script while being extremely bored. Maybe that was a good thing. What causes boredom? Boredom is the uncomfortable state of wanting to engage in satisfying activity, but being unable to do it. When we're bored, we experience a lack of stimulation. Time seems to pass very slowly, and if we are working on tasks, they seem to lack challenge and meaning. How can we benefit from boredom? David Bowie once said, "I don't know where I'm going, but I promise it won't be boring." Boredom might seem like an unbearable feeling that most of us try to avoid at all costs. We'd rather feel anything other than boredom. Yet boredom itself is one of the most important factors in creativity, a silent muse that has inspired countless great songs, novels, and paintings. The Booker Prize-winning novelist Anne Wright said that boredom is a productive state so long as you don't let it go sour on you, and I wait for boredom to kick in because boredom for me is a very good sign. Reflecting on her career, the musician and actress Kate Nash explained that the boredom she experienced as a teenager led her to start writing her music. Normally, in those moments when we are too bored to do anything, our brain would force us to find something stimulating, and out of the blue, some great ideas might come to the surface without us even trying. Number 1. Mundane motivation. So what is it about boredom that leads to creativity? Researchers have been exploring the link for some time. In one 2013 study, British psychologist Sandy Mann divided subjects into two groups and gave one the boring task of copying numbers from a phone book. Each group was then given a creative task of coming up with as many uses as possible for a plastic cup. The bored group outperformed the others. Another set of students, who had the even duller task of simply reading the phone numbers, did even better. The thinking is that boredom gives us a push to explore creative outlets to fill the gap our brain is noticing. Boredom is not in itself creative, it's what it leads to that is important. When you feel bored, an unpleasant feeling, it will motivate you to seek out something new, which can be a great source of creativity. In today's world, it seems too easy and tempting to go for quick fixes from all the social media apps such as TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, as we are constantly bombarded by news feeds and notifications from various platforms. The second we feel the slightest boredom, we will reach for our phones, which I'm guilty of a lot of the time. However, if we could find ways to resist these temptations, what boredom could do to our minds might sometimes amaze us. On the face of it, it doesn't make any sense. Boredom seems like the least creative feeling, but it's actually a way of clearing space for a new idea to spring back up. I do notice that sometimes with my writing, the most interesting ideas came out of nowhere when I was extremely bored. Number 2. No distractions. In 1990, the idea of Harry Potter came to J.K. Rowling's mind during a delayed train trip alone back to London after a weekend apartment hunting in Manchester. She wanted to write it down but didn't have a pen and was too shy to ask people around her. She ended up just thinking up all the ideas for her book during those 4 hours on the train. If she had an iPad or social media apps to scroll through instead of staring out of the window, Harry Potter might have disappeared out of her mind as quickly as he arrived. Science has linked daydreaming with creativity, and it is believed that it's here where the real ideas flourish. Boredom triggers mind wandering, and then mind wandering leads to creativity. Mason Curry has studied the routines of hundreds of artists, writers, and creatives for his 2 books, said that boredom is a recurring theme. The state that is really good for the creative process is not boredom exactly, but what he would call spacing out. That is doing something familiar with a kind of diffuse focus that allows your mind to wander elsewhere. That's something he has noticed over and over in his research, and it seems to be one of the essential elements of the creative process across history. Sometimes your best ideas may come during mindless activities such as doing dishes, taking a shower, going for a walk, a long commute to work, or simply waiting in line at the supermarket. It's when you fully allow your brain to wander, that's most likely when a flow state will suddenly be triggered and some random ideas all of a sudden seem to be connected and make sense. Therefore, if you struggle with feeling a boredom as often as I do, it might not be the worst thing that happened. As researcher and writer Terry Turker says, boredom is your imagination calling to you. So the next time boredom pays you a visit, put your phone down for a minute and take advantage of this mental state. Let your mind wander and you might come up with your next brilliant idea. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and I'll see you soon in the next one.